Ever notice that immigrant families, they don't ignore money conversations by accident? Like, for example, the cost of looking good. So, from my own personal experience, the measure of success sometimes is the way you look. So, like in our family, there's a lot of fashionistas, let me tell you. I remember growing up with my aunts, and they loved to put that outfit together. You know, brand names weren't as important probably back in the day, but the outfit itself, it had to coordinate, it was on point. And so that kind of trickles down into your thinking. Like when you are wanting to look good, or there's an event to go to, you got to get a new outfit. That's just how it goes. That, something from your closet is not going to cut it. You have to put on that super nice outfit. And, if you modernize, probably my aunt's thinking, name brands come into play. Oh, I'm wearing this purse is coordinated with that. And the brands become a lot more important. And then if you also look at the type of cars that people that have, I could say, let's just say people of color, because I think it's something that's kind of goes through, our culture. The car that you drive is super important. It has a brand name, it looks a certain way, it's probably done up with certain type of rims, and music playing at a very nice stereo system. Now, I speak from experience in the sense that when I met my husband, my boyfriend at the time, he had like a BMW, it was repainted, it had all the, top of the line rims on it, he put in the subwoofer, it had a sound system, like the whole thing. And the both of us, we met working in a kitchen of a hospital. So, we're making like some serious money or anything. We were making decent money for the time, but it wasn't like we were, rolling in it. But the perception was that, we're doing okay. So, yeah, sometimes the vehicles, the things that we pick are just for status. And then if you jump forward now to like today's day and age, oh, I really sound old now, but let's look at our vacations. So vacations all of a sudden have to be this super curated event. And I say that only because, sorry, I'm walking up a hill and it's like super steep. So I'm like panting. Anyway, do I need to get better shape? So yeah, the vacations today, they are super curated. They have like, okay, I'm gonna take a break, 1 second. So the vacations today, they're super curated, right? You have to have the lavish dinners, you have to have the outfits to go for each dinner. You either going to all-inclusive, or you're going on this whirlwind Europe tour, or on a cruise or something, right? It's not like back in the day where you just get in a car and take a road trip. It's a little bit different. So again, these are all like perceptions and personas that we put on so that, we look good in front of other people. And I guess when you're coming from another country that doesn't have as much of these things, obtaining them defines success. And that is where the money mindset kind of comes into play, that you need to buy more to show to your friends and families that, hey, you know what? I'm successful. So, it's not only a competition with ourselves, it's a competition amongst our cousins, our siblings, other people in our family and friends as well. So, obviously with social media, it's very easy to do that comparison. It's easy to compare to others on what they're doing, how they're looking, and especially with your family. Sometimes our families are harder on us than our friends and our family are. So you just want to look good for them. You want to look like, you got it together. I remember when we first got engaged, and this happens a lot, I think, in a friend group. There'll be a couple people that get engaged first, and then all of a sudden it's like a ripple effect, right? All the couples are thinking, oh, well, they're getting married, so maybe we should think about getting married. And all of a sudden you're invited to like 10 weddings. But that is a little bit of peer pressure as well. I'm not saying that they'll, go jump into such a major decision, just because of the look, but it's just pressure. It's any type of pressure that comes from your cousins, your siblings, your friends that are doing things that you're not doing. And so now all of a sudden you're talking to your boyfriend a little more seriously about ring sizes and things that you may like, and apartments and all this stuff, right? And maybe that wasn't even in your head before, but the pressure of the pressure of fitting in and being, keeping up with others is real. So let's talk about real wealth. Like the stuff that people don't see. Like maybe the size of your investment account, or having a savings account that's being funded for your emergencies. The stuff that people don't really recognize as success. That boring stuff is the true measure of getting your financial act together. So how I kind of reframe things after growing up through this type of mindset was, first of all, just saying no to things. I can't go to every single baby shower, wedding shower, birthday party, for the acquaintance of the acquaintance. I just can't do it. So I remember one time, my good friend was getting married, and I had to fly out to actually attend the wedding. So I priced out the ticket of how much it would be for just me to go and attend this wedding. Well, the cost was the same amount for the three of us to go on vacation to Florida. So it was our very first vacation as a family, and we had planned it already, and then I got the invitation to the wedding. So I was just like, what do I do? I can't afford to do both. I have to choose between a family vacation and attending my friend's wedding. So to make a long story short, I did ended up not going to the wedding and attending and then going on the family vacation. So was it a hard choice? It really was. It was my good friend. This was an acquaintance. And did it have an impact on our friendship? It did. I think she understood, but I don't know. Sometimes I still feel, did I make the right decision? I don't know. But there would always have been, I guess, family vacations that we could have took. But it was already planned. It was already booked. So it was really tough. And so I'm just saying, all that to say is that it's okay to say no. You may have some ripple effects, but it is what it is, unfortunately. The other thing we kind of reframed, I told you my boyfriend that became my husband had the fancy car. Well, we learned that now we got to drive cars to the ground. So we had a Toyota Matrix that we bought, and that car had literally over 500,000 kilometers on it. Like it did us no favors when we got rid of it finally. And it was sad. It was like part of our family. We had that car for so long, and I passed it down to my son to drive as well. So, instead of upgrading, all the time, we just kind of ran our cars and made sure that we got the most value out of them as possible. I think the biggest change that we did was trying to keep our lifestyle the same. So when our income started to go up, we didn't really just upgrade our income. We decided that, we're going to stay in the same place, continue renting where we are because we want to purchase a home, keep the same car, and all the extra money that we're making now, we bank and invest. And that's kind of how we got ahead, to be honest with you. So again, just a reframe of previous thinking where the shiny, nice new thing is not necessarily the best decision for your financial future. I think another thing that was kind of surprising, I suppose, in my culture is that when you start to earn more money, people kind of treat you differently. And you're the same person they always knew, but all of a sudden, oh, look at her, she's this, that, and the other. And you've just been working diligently on your goals, right? Upgrading your skills, getting better jobs. What's the harm in that? And I think people just, they want to see you succeed, but at the same time, they don't really. So, sometimes you have to hide promotions, increases that you're getting. My husband and I would just keep it on the low. If someone asked, maybe, but, for the most part, we wouldn't be broadcasting any of our gains to other people. And I think that's kind of sad. And I hope that we can change that within our culture, moving forward, that we celebrate these things that are, it's exciting and you want people to succeed. And that's the emotional side of financial success, right? It kind of sometimes bears a toll. Um, and it's lonely. It's a lonely road because not everybody thinks and process things the same way. And so it's kind of lonely when you're isolated in what you're thinking and what your beliefs are. And then I want you guys to tell me in the comments if you've experienced this. You all of a sudden become the go-to person. Oh, Johnny needs a little bit of help. Don't you think you could help him out? Perhaps you're going on dinners and then you're expected to be the one that's going to be paying automatically. And so then when you want to be generous, you want to be the one that can help out, it's difficult because you feel like there's an obligation already there and people already have that expectation. And so the joy is kind of taken out of you to want to help and assist. I remember there's a time when we lent some people some money, and it was part of our savings, and we were saving again to buy a home. And we assumed, because they were good friends, or actually, sorry, they were family, that they would pay us. There was no kind of like rush because we weren't in a hurry for the money. But unfortunately, we never got that money returned to us. And it was a lesson because, again, saying no, it's hard, especially when it comes to your family. But sometimes you got to prioritize yourself, right? And you got to prioritize your own goals. And that was a lesson learned for us. Not that we won't give out money or lend people money, but if you're going to give it, then don't expect it in return. So it just becomes a gift and not a loan. The loans just have way too much expectation on them, and it creates resentment amongst your family. So, if anything, I would just, we just now learn to give. So if there's anything I've learned in all of this, is to create some boundaries for yourself. So try to help yourself without sacrificing and without guilt, right? So when you're making decisions, when it comes to your family, when you're thinking about your future goals, you may have to sacrifice, and don't feel guilty for doing that. And also, what's important to understand is the difference between supporting and financial rescue. Honestly, you can still love your family and create financial boundaries. So if this hit something real for you, I put together something called Rewrite Your Money Identity. It's really just a self-paced audiobook with a workbook. It's an easy way to trace your patterns, see where they came from, and then start rewriting them. The link is in the bio. I'll see you guys in the next one.